The following show is a paid program.
The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.
How you doing? We are so excited today in the studio. Music exec, CEO of Thompkins LLC. He was VP of Epic Records at the time. Hey, my friend, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, Cam.
Man,
how you doing?
I'm so excited you here.
Thank you, man. I'm happy to be here.
I've had so many people calling me, letting me know TC Thompkins.
Pulled me out of my hat. Pulled me out of my hat. Absolutely.
I pulled him out of the house for COVID, family, and I'm telling you, I'm so happy he is here. Let's see Mr. TC Thompkins in action.
Meet T.C. Thompkins, a man with a very impressive resume that's been a force in the music industry for 40 years. T.C. has worked with major and indie labels like Stax, ABC Dunhill, Capitol, and CBS Epic, promoting some of the biggest names in the music industry. Artists like Isaac Hayes, The Dramatics, Shaka Khan, B.B. King, the Isley Brothers, Patti LaBelle, the O'Jays, Luther Vandross, Sade, Teddy Pendergrass, and Teddy Riley and Guy. TC has even worked with the king of pop, Michael Jackson, on his multi-platinum record, Thriller. Well known, highly respected and trusted, he's truly one of the finest promotion professionals in the music business today. Now you know. Now you know TC Thompkins.
Wow, I'm telling you,
got
looking
this
back.
right my spot for me. I like that.
Looking back, my friend, just looking at what happened, how did you get started?
Man, as we were discussing before we came on the air, I guess it was just in God's plan. And I don't mean to sound, overly crazy about something like that, but I had no background, as I was telling you, I had no background and no... come from a rural town in East Texas, Atlanta, Texas, and was in the service, went to Vietnam. And once when we were in Vietnam, you know how all the guys, after we came out of the field, we got together and we were sitting around talking. And everybody in the group was 18, 19 years old.
Right.
We were all young black men in the infantry and in the army over there in Vietnam. I was in the 1st Cav. So we were up in the mountains, and some of my boys were asking me, man, said, man, well, what do you want to do, man? Because I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life, just I knew I wanted to get out of there.
Exactly.
Yeah, get back to the world.
To the world, right?
And I said, man, I love to be in the music industry when I got back home, because that was really our only form of entertainment was music, and we used to have... I forgot what they call it. They call it World Something Radio, Armed Forces Radio.
Right.
We used to have that. We used to listen to over there and hear James Brown and all the stuff from the States. But that was what I wanted to do, and got back, went to college, and got married, and went to work for Stax Records. That was my first job in the music industry.
I saw that in 1971 that you started.
Absolutely.
Stax Records. But it wasn't here. You were in Memphis.
I was in Memphis. My wife was from Memphis, Tennessee. Matter of fact, we met as pen pals.
Wow.
While I was in Vietnam. So when we moved to Memphis, and she was working for Stax as a tape librarian. Back when they used to have the big
reels,
reels of tape. And I applied for a job because Stax back then was trying to get into the distribution business. So I applied for a sales rep for them, got the position, and went from there into promotions and the marketing and so on. And from then on to other labels.
Wow. As I was reading along the way, Stax Records, Capitol, ABC Records, CBS, And Epic as a VP.
Absolutely.
My God.
And then also GR Productions, which was Teddy Riley's label.
Right.
We started, Gene Griffin and I started that label, started that production company. And I worked, matter of fact, I worked for Teddy after I left CBS Epic. Because CBS back then, which was Sony Music now,
Right.
owned Columbia Records, Epic Records, Philly International Records, a whole bunch of other labels were distributed through CBS. So I handled all of their custom labels, what they call custom labels, and Epic Records custom labels was like Teddy Pendergrass, and let's see, who else was on Philly International? Jones Girls, McFadden and Whitehead, a whole bunch of stuff on Philly, on Gamble and Huff's label.
Right. Now, what was your job description in looking at that? What were you supposed to do with a person like Teddy Pendergrass or Luther?
Well, you know, I'll tell you a perfect example, two examples was Luther Vandross and Sade.
Right.
Now, Sade, I think, is one of my proudest accomplishments in the industry because when Sade came out, they was during the 80s when disco music was very popular. Right. And nobody was playing that form of genre that Sade was doing, that type of music. It wasn't, it wasn't hip-hop radio then. It wasn't R&B radio. It was really just R&B radio or urban radio. But disco sound had started taking over the country, and especially in the Upper East Coast and stuff. And we got this cassette, it was a cassette back then, of this artist named Sade that was huge in Europe. Right. And Epic here in the States, domestic, had to try to come up with some type of marketing plan or some type of scheme to make her big in the States. And they sit on that product for almost a year. They didn't know what to do with her. Right. So we had several marketing meetings on what approach were they going to take, how were they going to develop the material. And they had sent, unbeknown to me, which I was the vice president at that time, but they didn't discuss that with me because they had seen her and she wanted to be seen as a pop act. She did not want to be an R&B act or be boxed into or being a black act. Right. And so they had sent the pop promotion guys over, the vice president of pop promotion. They had sent several people over. She had rejected all of their plans. And I loved the music. And I told Don Dempsey, which was the president of Epic Records at that time, that I had come up with a plan to develop the material and would like to present the campaign to her. Right. So I flew over to Europe and met with her and her management team and sold her on my marketing plan. Wow. Which we put into effect, and there she is. There it is. The rest is history. Yeah.
I love what you do, and as I was reading and I was going through a lot of information that you did, you had to fight for black radio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, during that time, and it's probably so now, I don't know how the industry is. The industry is just like anything else in this country. It's racist, you know. When I was vice president of Epic Records, I had one person, which was my assistant, and then we had other people that were marketing, other product managers and press people, things. But I didn't have a national staff. Everybody else had a national staff. Right. You know, pop guys had assistants. They had national teams and everything. It was me. Yeah. It was just me. Right. That was it. And we did very well, though. I mean, we were the world for about 3 to 4 years there when I ran the label. Absolutely. So we did very well. We just had a real good streak of great material, and I had a great team. Richie Million used to work for me. Yeah. When he was at CBS Records, and we had a long run. I had him Toomey. I did the Juicy Food product. And the funny thing about it, though, most of these things and materials that we're discussing now as big hit records, I had to fight to get them released. Right. I mean, they did not want to release In Between the Sheets with the Isley Brothers. Yes. Now, can you believe they thought that was racy? That was racy. But they thought it was racy singing about In
Right.
Between the Sheets. Now that was the stuff that they would consider racy. Now that's nothing. But they didn't want to release In Between the Sheets. They didn't want to release Juicy Fruit, which was Toomey's big record. And there was several other records, SOS Band. For that release, they didn't want to release that. And Luther, which Never Too Much was a huge record. And the funny thing about it, though, is how these records have become such classics. I hear these songs on radio today.
Yes.
Every track, every record I hear has either got Juicy Fruit as a track, In Between the Sheets,
Right.
or one of those, or Luther, Never Too Much. Those, those three tracks right there, I hear on material every day almost,
Right.
man. It's still on the radio.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But Luther was another joy that I really enjoyed working
Wow.
with. Luther was just a great artist, a perfectionist, very sincere in his material.
I love
Great
that.
vocalist, man.
Yeah.
I loved his singing.
And you know what I love about you? A lot of people didn't know Michael Jackson, Sade, Luther Vandross, Destiny's Child, Patti LaBelle.
I didn't do Destiny. I missed that one.
You didn't do it?
I didn't do Destiny's
The
Child.
Isley Brothers?
Islas I did.
Tina Marie.
Tina Marie.
Wow.
OJ's.
OJ's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a good run. Plus a lot of other material that we didn't expect, like Sade. Like
Yes.
I said, and I could tell you something else if you're talking about this racist situation. When I went to Europe, spent 2 to 3 weeks with Sade in Europe, went on a tour with her. We came back from Europe. I put the program together. We put a press tour together. We put a whole bunch of other things together. And I released Hang On To Your Love, which she hated personally. She didn't want to release that. But I felt like it had more of an R&B feel to it than anything else on her project. And it would be easier to ease her into this marketplace with that. Plus, if you go back and listen to it, it's got a hook almost like Thriller. It's got that same track almost as Thriller, which I felt would be a lot easier for her to develop with her. And I know to tell you this story. Sis, Sade and I got to be very close. Matter of fact, she wouldn't hardly do anything for the label unless I okayed it. So it had become sort of an awkward position. She didn't really have any respect for the label after I had to come over there and fight for her and fight to get her the stuff. So she respected what I had done for her. But anyway, we had this big convention after I think Diamond Life had gone gold. I think it was something like that. So they were so pleased about that because the label, Epic, really didn't have any faith in her as an artist. They really didn't. They didn't know what they was going to do with her. They didn't feel like she could sing. I used to say, oh, man, they're terrible. I used to get those type of comments from radio, though. You have to realize that Sade's not really a vocalist. She's a stylist.
Yes.
Okay, in her material. Okay, and but anyway, after her and I got to be big buddies and travel all over the country together, they had this conference in Hawaii, and they were going to present her in front of the whole entire international and domestic, CBS International and Domestic, present her with the award and do a big celebration and stuff. So we're hanging out in my suite earlier that day.
Right. And
I told her, I said, I'd be willing to bet you that they're not going to call me up on stage for this presentation. She says, no way. They're not. She said, I don't see how they could do that. I said, I guarantee you. See, now that it's a success, all the white boys are there. All the white boys are bowing. They bowing for it. Matter of fact, there was a big article, which I meant to tell you this. One of the first things that really pissed me off, which is a good friend of mine, but it was a lie. I came back, I was flying back to New York from somewhere, and I'm sitting on my jet, and I open up Time Magazine. There's a big article in Time Magazine about this vice president of marketing at Epic Records, how he had pulled his coup and broke this European artist, Sade. This is my boss's boss taking credit for my work.
Yes.
So I'm reading this article, man, I'm steaming. My name ain't nowhere in it, okay? I'm steaming. I had to beg them to release this girl and let them do this stuff. So that was not the top of, but that's why I knew I wasn't going to be called up on stage.
Right.
Okay. It was too big of a project for me to be in the one behind it. Okay.
Right.
I think they kind of gave it to me thinking I would fail.
So she gets up on stage.
Yeah,
they
but then
call her name.
I told her this is not going to happen. I said, they're not going to call me up on stage. I guarantee you. She says, no way. So they called her up on stage. She says, and I think I got this verbatim. She says, thank you. She said, when I first came to America, T.C. Thompkins worked me like a nigger. That's what she said, exact words. She said, nobody should be treated like a nigger. She said, T.C. Thompkins, come up here and get this and accept this award with me. And I told her after that, I said, well, you know you just got me fired. I said, you know that. You know you just got me fired. But she called them out on it. Right. Yeah. I really liked that about her. And I have to admit, when I left CBS and I left the music business, really. I just had kind of resigned from being in the music industry. And I started working for an ad agency in Nashville. I was doing TV commercials and stuff in Nashville for an ad agency. And I think it was somebody asked me, I think it was Sidney Miller, which is a friend of mine from BRE Magazine, wanted me to come up to Impact. It was a conference they used to have up in New Jersey every year. Right. And I said, man, come on up. Don't be like that about the music. I had just had a bad taste in my mouth from the business. And I came up to New York. I came up to Atlantic City, ran into Gene Griffin, which was Teddy Riley's manager. I had given Teddy a deal at Epic. Before I left Epic, I had signed Teddy Riley when he was 14 years old in a group called Kids at Work. But when I left, Epic dropped him. Okay, big mistake. Okay, so I had signed him. Teddy had a group called Kids at Work. Him and my daughters all grew up together. They were all big friends. So I had kind of forgotten about it. So when I left, started working for this ad agency, I went up to Jersey and ran into Gene Griffin. And Gene asked me what was I doing. And I said, I'm working for this ad agency in Nashville. He said, man, I need you to come back to New York. Yeah. He said, I need you to come back and help me with this label. Because Gene had a deal that he had gotten with Gerald Busby, which was a black guy who ran MCA at the time. But Busby left and went to Motown. So when Gene didn't have anyone that he could negotiate with at MCA anymore because Gene had a retarded past. I put it that way.
Right.
Gene had a past. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And was known as a thug and a hoodlum, and nobody in the music industry would meet with him. None of the vice presidents or presidents of any of the major labels would meet with Gene. So he had this deal with this record with Guy. They had out Teddy's Jam, or the first record, whatever the first one was, I believe it was Teddy's Jam.
Teddy's Jam.
They had released, and it was doing okay. It wasn't doing great, but it was doing okay. So Gene said, man, I need you. I need you to come up here and help me with this label. He said, I need to get to Al Teller. Al Teller was the president of MCA Records at the time. He used to be the president of Columbia Records. So I knew him. Right. Yeah. So I said, oh, shit, that ain't no problem. So I called Al on the phone. Yeah, I had Al on the phone. I said, Al, I'm starting to go to work for Gene Griffin and Teddy Riley and them. I need to come out to Los Angeles and meet with you about a marketing plan for this project. No problem. Right. Flew out to Los Angeles. I think it was December. Met with Al, set up a program for them. They wasn't doing nothing to support the project. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just another black project that had been released and was signed by somebody else that wasn't even there no more. So it didn't have any importance. So I got them to put some money behind it, put some muscle behind it. I moved back to New York and started running GR production for Gene and Telly. And we did 2.5 million on that album.
Sounds good. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Mr. T.C. Thompkins.
Be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Ron Carter Cadillac, Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, delivers test drives to your home or office, like the new 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection, only $299 a month. The new 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection, $399 a month. Or the first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, just $499 a month. All for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase and choose 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 bonus cash with no payments until March 2021. Visit RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote by mail-in ballot.
I'm a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote safely in person.
I'm a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote early.
I am a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote safely in person. In this coming election, voters aged 50 plus
will make all the difference.
Will make the difference.
Will make the difference.
Will make the difference.
Will make the difference in elections across the state.
So make a plan now.
So you can vote however you choose.
It doesn't matter
where you vote,
how you vote, or who you vote for.
What matters.
What matters.
What matters.
What matters is that you have a plan to vote.
For more information,
head to
aarp.org/tx.
Vote.
Vote. Vote.
Đi bầu cử.
और वोट करना मत भूलिएगा.
Vote.
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 唔該去投票。
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service, striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Did you know that the Republican Party of Texas was formed by free slaves? Did you know that 150 black men ran the Republican Party? Did you know that Cooney Holmes is named after the first Republican chairman of Texas Republican Party? They don't teach that in schools. Why not? We have a rich history with the Republican Party. I'm Wendell Champion. Visit me at champion2020.com. I'm Wendell Champion, and I approve this message.
Hello again, Stafford. We are extremely proud of the diverse community we have in Stafford.
We need you to get out and vote for CECIL Willis.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powells. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powells.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Hey, thank you guys for coming back. We're here with T.C. Thompkins. Hey, my friend, we were just talking about everything you've done in your career before. Let's look at some things. Let's talk about Michael Jackson. Everybody wants to hear about Michael.
Well, I tell everybody that Michael's one of the main reasons I'm still working. Because if you worked on the largest selling project in history,
yes,
you had to have some kind of idea what you're doing. So they figure, say, you might know what you're doing.
You might know what you're doing. Let's see a few pictures.
Okay.
And we'll stop. Let's look at this one. Okay, who do we have on this one?
That is Mae James, Sidney Miller from BRE Magazine, my girl Sade, and myself. That was a press party that we had for Sade out in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, I had been on the road, man, continuously with her there on that picture. Now, my friend Emilio, that was at Michael's mother's house. That's Maurice Warfield, my regional guy for the West Coast. Mm-hmm. Michael, Joe Jackson and myself. We went out there that trip with Emilian. I got an Emilian an exclusive interview with Michael Jackson when he was with another radio station. another station. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Here we go.
That's me, Joe, and Tommy Marshall. Tommy Marshall was program director in Jackson, Mississippi at that time. Matter of fact, he ended up being national or VP at Interscope Records, but that was Joe. Joe Jackson was a real character there.
There you go.
An individual.
Let's go to the next one.
That is me, Tina Marie, and Roy Ayers. I worked on Tina's Star Child project, her biggest project. Even though everybody think Motown was, that was the biggest. That is me and Culture Club, Boy George. I worked
there you go.
And that's one of Houston's own, Preston Millington, my man right there with me. That's Rod Templeton, that white guy on the end there. That's the guy that did the writing for Heat Wave and Off the Wall. All of the
Quincy,
writing.
Right? That's Who's on the end?
Oh, that's Q. That's my man,
Quincy.
Q. Q and I are still good friends, thank God for Q. And myself, Preston, and Rod Templeton.
No way, that's Preston.
Yeah, that's my man, Preston. Now, this is Michael when we did Off the Wall. That's what his presentation for Off the Wall. Matter of fact, I had to go up to, that's the same time.
Okay, these are the brothers.
Same time with the brothers, yeah. That's Don Dempsey, the president of Epic. Over there on the, see the guy with the mustache on the end there with the Jack. That's the guy that they did the article on that stole my glory. Right there, Ron McCarroll. That's my man. Yeah,
marketing man. Okay, we saw all the pictures. There you go. Let's talk about Michael Jackson. Everybody wanted to know. Every time I looked at all of your interviews and everything that are recent, they want to know about Michael.
Well, you know, most of the interviews that I've done here in Houston was when Michael passed. Yeah, I mean, it was such a shock to everybody that I did a ton of interviews on that. I had seen Michael probably about 5 or 6 years before that happened when I was out in Los Angeles. But my relationship with Michael, man, took a little time because Michael was a very introverted person. He didn't mix with a lot of people very easily. But, you know, like I tell everybody, he had two personalities, an on-stage personality and another personality when he was by himself. But he was a great human being, great person. I never believed any of the stuff about him being a pedophile or any of that stuff. I've spent too much time with, plus I know a lot of women that he slept with, you know, so I, you know, so it was confusing, you know, to say the least.
Right.
But we spent a lot of time together, especially after the making of Thriller, because I didn't really get to know them until they did a deal with Epic Records and left Motown, everybody except Jermaine. Jermaine stayed there. The brothers came over, they did a project with Gamble and Huff, Going Places, I think was the name of it.
Right.
And then they did 2 or 3 other projects, Destiny, Victory, a couple of projects as brothers.
Right.
And so they did this tour. When I first met Michael, they did the Victory tour. We went up to, flew up to Kansas City, which was the kickoff date for the Victory tour. We flew up in the corporate jet, met Michael for the first time. Then I flew out to his house several times right before Thriller, because Off the Wall, when he came out with Off the Wall, he had that first duo with him and Paul McCartney, which I hated. You know, I wanted to get to the meat of the album, which was his stuff in there. Like, you know, that project there was for Michael to get more pop acceptance. That's why they did him with Paul McCartney. Which we ran up to the top of the charts, I think #1 in 4 weeks, which I have a plaque about that, but I think that was one of the fastest times they'd ever done it. But after that, I raised a little hell before the release of Thriller because they were trying to make Michael more and more of a pop artist and take him more and more away from black radio.
Right.
So I raised hell about it. That's one of the reasons.
Here we go with black radio again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I raised hell about it. I told them I did not want that record released to pop radio before black radio, because they were going to release it to pop radio. I did not want it released to pop radio before black radio. We went out and did some interviews exclusively for black radio. That was when Emilian and I flew out to his home. And after that, I started spending more and more time with him, with the tour and with dealing with Thriller and all that, which was crazy.
Wow.
You know, Thriller sold 15 million records, 1 million records every month for 15 consecutive months.
That's unheard of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's unheard of. And then it was played on country, western. It was played on every format.
Every format played that record. We released 2 singles on that record at the same time, which has never been done before. We released one in urban and one in pop. We did a lot of things with that project. You know, when you got something that's that revolutionary, okay, because it was, I think it was the perfect storm at the perfect time, because it was right around the time of MTV.
I was going to say that, videos.
Yeah, videos were just coming into their prominence.
Right.
Which we had to raise hell, or Walter Yetnikoff had to raise hell to even get Michael played on MTV. They weren't playing black artists. So,
and just think of the video of Thriller.
Yeah. Oh, man, the Thriller was, and Billie Jean was the first one.
Right.
Okay, and they didn't want to play it. MTV didn't want to play it. Yetnikoff threatened to pull all of CBS's acts off of MTV if they didn't pay Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah, so
he
that's what
it
took. Oh yeah, that's what it took. Yeah, for them to do that, and then Michael opened up so many doors for every act, because after that, black TV, black music was all over MTV, and hip hop was the birth of hip hop and stuff. But Michael and his innovation and his creativity, I mean, they had never spent that kind of money on a video before.
Right.
It was a minute movie.
It was a movie.
Yeah. You know, so I remember the premiere of that and us going to see it. I mean, it was a great experience. My children had a chance to meet him. I went backstage with him all the time. You know, he was just a good person, a lot of fun, you know, jokes and everything. Once he got warmed up to you, he was a different person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other people ask about Luther Vandross.
Luther, my man, Luther. Well, you know, now, you know what? I got in trouble about this because I think I told some women one time in St. Louis, we were sitting around talking or something, and I said, you know, Luther's gay. Man, women were upset.
I know they were.
Yeah. Well, Luther was gay. You know, you know. I'm sorry to be the one.
Now you already killed all my people.
Yeah,
half the people that just listened to him.
I done heard it. I done heard his music right now. I told him that Luther was gay. Matter of fact, I almost caught Luther in the act one time, so I won't even go into that. But
now the other half of my people gone.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on a tour one time, but Luther, man, was one of the nicest guys in the world. Yeah. Nicest. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better temperament.
They say he was a very perfectionist in what he did.
God, a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything had to be perfect, had to be right. Michael's like that.
Yeah.
Michael delayed release on so many records because some note wasn't right or something wasn't sounding right to him. So he would go back and redo it and redo it. You just had to just take it from him.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted it to be released.
Absolutely.
You know. Luther was the same way. His stage production. Matter of fact, I think he fell out with it was either Dionne Warwick or one of the other acts that he was working with, man. They had done something that wasn't kosher with his stage production, the way he set it up. Oh man, he was very upset about that, you know. But he was just a great, talented guy, good guy, man. We stayed on the road together with Luther. Luther was another act that didn't get the respect that he deserved. I almost lost my job over Luther because I had been traveling and been on the road and just come out of Detroit, and Luther's album was on fire in Detroit, and we didn't have no product. You know, so I came back and was having a marketing meeting, and some vice president of sales made the crack, because I was talking about the absence of product and why we wouldn't have the product on a deal, because they used to do stuff like 10 10 on 100 or some shit like that to get the prices down to move more material out and stuff. And I don't forgot this name of this vice president, but I almost killed him. He said something like, well, what do you want me to do? Put product in every shoe shine shop in the country?
Ooh.
And I lost it.
You went across the table.
Oh, yeah, I lost it. They had to pull me out of the meeting. Yeah. You know, I mean, during my time at CBS, and I'm sure during the industry, man, there was so many incidents of that nature.
Yeah.
With this, you know, with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that, and anybody can tell you that ever worked for me or worked with me, I didn't take any kind of BS, especially as far as that black and white thing.
Right.
I didn't feel like I needed CBS to be a success. You know, I really didn't. I never felt like I needed a record company to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish.
Wow.
You know, because I remember when they first gave me my birth, I worked for a guy in Chicago that was a German guy named Van Gorp. He was vice president over there. Hard MF, man. I mean, tough. Okay. Well, that's when I first left ABC, because ABC was run by blacks. ABC was all black. Epic was all black. You know what I mean? So I had a black boss. The president of the company was black, Otis Smith. So I had never worked for a white corporation before. You know. And when I got to CBS, man, they were doing some things that was as racist as shit. I mean, just straight up. When I first came there, man, they had the black local guy performing and dancing at one of the meetings and shit, you know, in face.
Right.
Okay. Oh,
blackface.
Yes. This was in the 70s.
Right.
Okay. This was in the 70s. You know, black people got to realize, young black people got to realize, they wasn't even in civil rights until the 60s.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so when I'm working in the 70s, man, it's ugly.
And that's 71.
Oh yeah, 72.
Up.
Oh, it was
72.
ugly.
Yeah. They just come out of just the 60s.
And see, I was because I just got back from Vietnam. You know, when I first got in the music industry, I just came back from Vietnam.
Right.
So and the industry back then was kind of hoodlumish, man. It was real street.
Right.
You know, a lot of the guys, especially at Stax, they had, you know, criminal backgrounds or felonies, or, you know, I mean, they were all, you know, these black, you know, in this country, man, you can get a record being black, period. But it was a very strong street element in the music industry back then. It wasn't, corporations weren't interested in black music until they saw how much money was in it, you know, until the CBS's and the Warner Brothers and all of them got interested in black music. But I had worked for nothing but black companies, you know. So me working for CBS, man, you know, it didn't mean shit to me. Excuse my French. I don't know if we can say that, you know. But this is trying to tell me one of the vice presidents at CBS started talking about, man, you ain't never made this kind of money. I know you, son. I said, man, I'm making this kind of money before I came here.
Right.
And it's not going to mean. I said I was trying to tell my name, and it is still I guess it has been my theory, I guess, from the beginning to be of my name, not their label.
Yes, that's
you know?
good.
And my name is still known, you know, even though I'm not as active and on the scene as much as. Matter of fact, a partner of mine was up in New York, because I talked to a lot of my boys up in New York, and it was telling me that Jay-Z and 2 or 3 other guys was up at Sony about 7 or 8 months ago, and they was talking about, man, I remember when they had guys like T.C. Tompkins and so on. So I said, come on, man. I said, they don't know me. He said, dog, you was the man when he was just happening.
Right.
You know, because back then I was the man. I had all the records. I had every hit on the charts.
So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you mentioned that. People are local. A lot of local artists are here in Houston.
First thing, you got to break out of Houston.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the first
Trying to go
thing.
mainstream.
Yeah,
So trying to go mainstream, you got to break out of Houston.
Houston is, first of all, it is so diverse.
Yeah.
You know, that it's kind of hard to get a black niche in here. You know what I'm saying? Because you got tons of Indians, tons of Spanish, tons of everything in this city. So, and then on top of that, radio in this city is all owned by major corporations now.
Wow.
There are no independent stations anymore.
Right.
Okay, probably KTSU. You know, it's probably about the last individual station in this market that plays black material.
So they really do have to leave.
Oh, you got to go out of Houston to happen. Yeah.
Wow.
It's very seldom. I mean, now, Magic, every blue moon in a box, every blue moon will give a record a shot or put you on the break or something like that. But I mean, if you got a monster record and you take it into the program directors, a Clear Channel, a Radio One, oh yeah, they got to go to their consultants or their vice president of programming.
So it's no longer walking to the DJ.
Oh no, it ain't
play
that kind of party no more. No, matter of fact, I was just telling somebody back, I broke Maze too, which everybody loves in this city.
Yes.
I broke Maze. Frankie Beverly and Maze, you would not have heard if it had been for I was working for Capitol when I broke Maze in New Orleans at WBOK. And New Orleans was the first station to play that record. But this market, it used to be now, before Radio One bought Magic, and before the Clear Channel and all of them bought up all the radio stations, you used to break records out of Houston, man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, this used to be the breakout market.
Let's hold that thought. We'll be right back. Cam Hill Show.
Be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Now come test drive the much anticipated all-new 2021 Cadillac Escalade at Ron Carter Cadillac. And for a limited time, get an unheard of $19,000 in total savings on new 2020 Escalades, or pay just $879 a month with only $1 down, only at Ron Carter Cadillac. Visit us today, Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway. Visit RonCarterCadillac.com, Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer.
In this coming election, voters 50 plus will make the difference in elections across the state. The time is now to make a plan so you can vote how you choose in this coming election. Eligible voters can vote by mail-in ballot, and all registered voters can vote safely in person early or on voting day. Don't wait, make a plan to vote today. For more voting information, head to aarp.org. I'm Tina Knowles-Lawson, and I'm a proud voter.
In this coming election, voters age 50 plus will make the difference in elections across the state. The time is now to make a plan so you can vote how you choose. In this coming election, eligible voters can vote by mail-in ballot, and all registered voters can vote safely in person early or on voting day. Don't wait, make a plan to vote today. For more voting information, head to aarp.org/tx. I'm Chloe Dow, and I'm a Texas voter.
Greetings, Stafford. This is Councilman Cecil Willis on the campaign trail in Stafford, spreading my message and my vision for Stafford.
Friendship and fairness comes before power. Brandon City Council member Cecil Willis.
Join me in my endorsement of Councilmember Cecil Willis.
Recently, Queen Sheila has made proposals, a reparation bill in Congress that will cost American taxpayers, that's you and I, over $6.2 quadrillion. Quadrillion! There's not even $1 quadrillion in the whole planet. What does that mean? Someone's making promises they just can't keep. I'm Wendell Champion, and I need your vote. Visit me at champion2020.com. I'm Wendell Champion, and I approve this message.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Hey family, how you doing? I am here with TC Thompkins. We are having a great time. I'm telling you, we're talking about artists and music development. That's our topic. But I'm telling you, Mr. TC Thompkins, you are helping so many people and have helped so many.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about the local market here in Houston.
Artists. You know, the thing that local artists or any artist has to get over is trying to happen in a major market.
Yeah.
They want to happen in Houston right away.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You got to realize Houston is the 4th largest market in the country. So they used to operate without that being restricted, but since they are such a large market, their airtime is very competitive, so they have to keep their numbers up to a certain level. They don't want to play anything that they can put on a radio station, and you push that dial and go to the other station. So they, you know, familiar sounds, Beyonce, Jay-Z. So stuff that you're going to recognize right away. It makes it repetitious and kind of boring to people who like good music or new music. But that's their safe net. And that's what major stations have started doing, that's killing the development of new music. Radio is not the primary source of developing new music anymore. It used to be, okay? And I can tell any artist out there that thinks Spotify and all of them is, forget it. There's too much competition on Spotify. If you don't happen on Spotify within the first month of release, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to build something at Spotify or at another avenue, maybe YouTube, some other social media outlet, or Instagram or something. But bottom line, material is going to be what counts. And, you know, and I keep trying to tell everybody, take time, write some serious lyrics, sit down and come up with either something that is very catchy, or very cute, or very funny, or very emotional, you know, because music ain't nothing but an emotion. If you don't make me want to get up and dance, or cry, okay, you got trouble. You got to have one of them. You know, matter of fact, one of the records that I was associated with that I had a problem picking, I had a release on Patti LaBelle that I was kind of toying with and went back and forth with, because Patti had left the label and went to MCA. So Epic wasn't interested in doing anything with her anymore. They she had a record that she had given them because of an obligation. You know, artists have so many releases, obligations in each contract. So she gave them a project, a giveaway project, to get out of her contract to go to MCA. And on that release was If Only You Knew.
Wow.
Okay. I fought with Epic and Philly International to finally get that record released. And you know, that record ended up being Patti LaBelle's only #1 record in her entire career.
Really?
Fate is a monster.
Right.
Her only #1 record, If Only You Knew. Yeah, but I was saying about local artists, man, you can happen. You don't have to happen in Houston. You know, tons of, Colleen Crusoe, perfect example. We were just talking about that. Frenchie's daughter. She had tons of big records, man. We had to make the record big outside of Houston and then come back to Houston. She just had a top 20 record, which I did for her. I don't think Houston played that record until it was probably in 23 or 20. Now it was number 20-something on the national charts. You know, so because most major markets won't even consider a record, especially in R&B, unless until it's top 30. Okay, see, because your urban R&B, or what they call urban AC charts, only go to 50. It's what's published, it only goes to 50, top 50.
So many people now, because of COVID, are doing the live streaming, or live virtual, you know, concerts and things like that. But now that we're getting ready to, I've seen some places getting ready to open up just a little bit.
Some people are doing clubs. They're starting doing that club, doing drive-ins, which is a great idea. Car concerts, you know. You know, it's going. I figure by next summer. You know, by next summer and fall, it's going to start loosening up to where we'll have concerts and stuff. But man, it is killing the artists that need that for appearance. You know, because I had 4 or 5 projects set for Ready for the World. What is it? Soul for Real. All those old R&B acts that were coming out. Tank, Ready for the World, Soul for Real. We had 4 or 5 releases. I was about to work. When we did the lockdown. Matter of fact, Colleen's record, what was the name of that record? I can't remember it now. But Colleen's record, last record I did for her, I think we were in the high 20s, and we were about to go on tour.
Right.
And they did the lockdown the week she was going on
Wow.
tour. It killed the record.
Yeah. So it's killing it. Now that I see a little bit opening up and things like that, places opening up a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not hurting hip hop and some formats as much as others, like R&B and older, what they call the grown and sexy crowd.
Right.
It's hurting them because
Right.
their income is mainly concerts,
right,
and touring.
Right.
But hip hop and dance, I mean not dance, hip hop and things of that nature, which you do a heavy stream. See, and that's what I keep trying to tell artists. You have to build a brand. Like
right.
my name is a brand.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If you build a brand in it, you know, you go on Instagram, go on Spotify, something, you're going to see that and you recognize the brand and you're going to listen to it or buy it or something. Because Beyonce don't care about it being.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She put something out. Yeah, Jay-Z, she put something out. It's going to do 10, 15 million a week.
Yes.
Yeah. Because of the name, you know. So you have to build that name. And then some artists, man, are just not waiting. I'm working right now, 4 or 5 projects. I was expecting my business to just die.
Right.
You know, with there not being any touring. But still artists which is savvy, if you have the money to do it, is keep that brand out there, keep that sound out there, keep that, you know, it's just like people said, during the war, they said you couldn't get a Coca-Cola nowhere.
Right.
But Coca-Cola kept advertising
like
they were. It finally became available, man. You couldn't keep
sold
them
out.
You couldn't keep them in stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of artists are taking that approach that they're not doing major campaigns, but they're doing campaigns enough to keep their sound and their name. I've been doing a lot of regional and, you know, like projects like running records up to top 40,
right,
or running records up to, you know, to where they get 40 to 50 markets.
But you keep consistently marketing people. You consistently do that.
Well, I don't accept everybody.
Right.
Okay, that's what really helps too.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, if I don't feel like the record has a chance, I don't want to take your money. Because when it comes down to it, if it don't happen, I'm gonna be blamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your name is on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I take it, and matter of fact, if I take the project and it is successful, I'm gonna be blamed. I can tell you the perfect example. The record I just talked about, Colleen Crusoe.
Yeah.
I did that record, man, and explained to them what needed to be done, and I needed to be doing it, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We got them a top 20 record. Couldn't go any higher because of this doggone
COVID. Yeah.
But wasn't happy. But you know, you can't please everybody, man. I do what I can, and I always advise my artists, which people hate me for this. I try to advise them not to spend money. When I see the handwriting on the wall,
right,
I got an artist right now that I'm fighting with, telling her to stop spending money.
Right.
Because the record has run out of gas.
Yeah.
And after the record business is like this, especially if you're trying to develop something on the charts or in growth, you have to show consistent growth every 7 days. Right. That's what I tell everybody. A record's lifespan is 7 days.
Yeah.
So every 7 days, you have to show growth. You got to show positive trend. You have to show new markets. And after you stagnate for 2 or 3 weeks, radio looks at it like it's not going to happen.
Mr. T.C. Thompkins, talking to the viewers real quick, and tell them your last thoughts of what a local artist, or just artist, period, what should they do?
Well, first of all, develop some material that you're proud of, okay? Don't listen to your friends because they're going to lie to you, okay?
Right.
Yeah, don't listen. Talk to strangers, okay? And don't even let the people that you're talking to know it's you. Just say, hey, I got this artist that I want you to listen to. Can you tell me what you think of it? Or would you buy this? Or so on. Kind of get a feel of what you're doing. Get feedback before you put your future on the line with you. Now, I've had some artists that just believe in what they're doing and know what they're doing. They hear what they're doing, and they don't care what nobody else says. And I mean, sometimes you might have that knack of knowing what is going to happen. Okay. But I would suggest to anybody, work with professionals. Don't work with your partners or your partners that do. You know, it's like people call me all the time. Tell me, man, I gave this guy $15,000. I didn't get no reports. I didn't get no so and so. I said, well, did you check them out? Did you check their background? Did you No, a friend of mine told me that that he could, that they could do it, and he made me all kind of promises. Man, they will promise the world. Yeah. I'm gonna just tell you that now. When you're talking to somebody that does promotions and marketing, they're gonna lie. And the reason why I get all the work that I do, even though I'm not an easy person to get along with when I'm working, is that I'm very honest with everybody. I tell them the truth whether they want to hear it or not. And whatever I say I can do, I can do it.
So give your contact information. Everybody's wanting it. They want to know how to get in touch with your
website.
Look,
you can find tctompkins.com.
There you go.
I'm everywhere. Instagram, all over the place. And you can also call us at 888-603-1999. And that is our toll-free number. Someone will answer at all times.
Let's give that number again, Mr.
That is 888-603-1999. My extension is extension 1.
There you go. There you go. Mr. T.C. Thompkins, music exec, CEO of T.C. Thompkins LLC. He is an artist and music developer connoisseur. I'm telling you, if you need to be developed, if you need anything about music and as an artist, this is your man.
I appreciate that, man. I thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, my God, I've had a good time. Thank you so much. We will be back on tomorrow. We will see Corman Turner and Kathy Chang, and then we'll see the comedians on tomorrow, 12:30, 1:30 Central Standard Time. See you tomorrow. Bye.
The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.